How's it going, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to make a website. First, I'll be talking a little bit about how a website works so you can understand the steps I'm taking, and then I'll walk you through the steps, and then I'll show you what you can do once your website is actually up and running. So let's get started. Alright, so what actually is a website? Well, a website consists of two main components. The first is the domain, and the domain basically links to where your website's files are stored, and then you need a place to store the files. We often refer to this as web hosting, but all it is essentially it's a server where your website's files are stored. Now, if you're getting confused, what's a server, what's a web host, don't worry, I'm going to run you right through each one of them and what to look for, especially if you're just starting and this is your first website. I'm going to be giving some recommendations and what to definitely avoid. Big disclaimer, a lot of people on YouTube make videos because certain web hosts or domain registrars have high-paying affiliate programs. We're going to be cutting right through that today. I'm not even going to be including any affiliates in this video. It's totally informational. I'm giving you the facts. So let's get started. So first and foremost, you need a domain registrar. Now, register a domain. All right. Let's see what comes up. We have register.ca. I'm currently located in Canada. We have GoDaddy. We have Sira. We have register.com, we have Namecheap. Personally, I really like Namecheap. I really love that they give a free WhoisGuard, which essentially, in order to normally register a website, you need to give a lot of information, as required by ICANN. Or it's requested from ICANN, from the domain registrars anyways, but what Namecheap and a lot of other domain registrars do is, in order to hide your sensitive information, including name, address, vice versa, they have something called, well, Namecheap's is called WhoisGuard, some of them have other stuff. Basically, it just, guards your information, so when somebody looks up who owns this website, you don't come up right away. So Namecheap offers that for free. I know a lot of other domain registrars charge for that. Namecheap is pretty cheap as well. So if you want to register a website using Namecheap, for instance, another one, of course, like a very common one is GoDaddy. I really don't recommend using it, but if you're going to register it, same thing. You come right here and you just go over here to register. Now, let's just say we wanted to register a domain on GoDaddy. Actually, what things to look for in a domain registrar. Firstly, you got to obviously consider the pricing. As I said, the privacy WhoisGuard is pretty big, but the pricing, for instance, GoDaddy saying .com domains are $2.99. You're saying that's really cheap, especially when you look at what Namecheap is offering the domains at. How much is it? Like, let's just do a sample. My amazing website. I'm intentionally misspelling it so that it's not taken. And so basically, let's say this is going to be our website domain name. Namecheap's giving it at $8.88. Why is that? Because if you look at the renewal price here, it's actually going to, Namecheap is saying get it at $8.88 a year, period. But GoDaddy is saying no, you're going to be renewing it next year at $25. You get it right now at $2.99, but eventually you're gonna have to renew it for more. So watch out for that. That's all I'm saying. If you want to register a domain, you gotta watch out for the initial price and then the renewal price, because a lot of times domain registrars and hosting companies make these amazing deals where they give you something for so cheap and then they expect you to renew it for 4 or 5 times the price, even in this case 10 times the price. Almost. So watch out for that. So basically, if you were to get it off Namecheap, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I think I was making a tutorial from earlier that I scrapped. So this one, let's say we want to get, so we will basically throw this. There's also a promo code. You can always go to Namecheap promo code, and their website always has promo codes. Now I wouldn't really go anywhere else for promo codes because, again, everyone's just trying to promote their affiliate stuff. Sorry, encountered coupon. Okay, so yeah, you need an account in order to enter the promo code. It's like 10-20 cents off or something. It always updates. So anyways, you get your domain. What you got your domain now. What is this domain supposed to do? It's like, as I said earlier, it's supposed to point to your name server. what are your name servers? You know, like your name servers basically point to your hosting. So where are your name servers? How do you get your hosting? What is hosting? So the second step is hosting. Namecheap, GoDaddy, a lot of these domain registrars also offer hosting. I personally don't recommend it for two reasons. Number one, security reasons, and number two, quality. A domain registrar is geared towards giving you domains. I wouldn't purchase, you know, I wouldn't rely on hosting from them. Namecheap does offer really good, affordable hosting plans, as you see here. What you're going to be looking for, though, is shared hosting, yeah? This is basically when there is a mega server that's huge, and it hosts a lot of websites, and each person gets their individual little box that they get to do whatever they want with. So, you know, it's going to be composed of something very random, that people are going to have to go to in order to access your website. And instead, your domain name is going to forward to that random location that they're going to have to access. I'm going to be showing you this in a second, yeah? So let's say you've registered your domain with Namecheap. This is exactly how it is going to look. Once you go to your domain settings, right here on the domain panel, you have name servers. Now, when you have a few options here, if you select custom DNS, you will be shown this. You can throw in your custom DNS, or DNS is short for domain name server. Okay, but where do you get these from? Again, you need a hosting. So where do you get a hosting? I highly recommend Virotech at the moment. They offer LiteSpeed, which is much faster. Let me just show you the statistics here. LiteSpeed versus Apache versus nginx. For years, people have been using Apache and nginx. LiteSpeed is really so much faster, as you see the statistics there. Obviously, this is from their website. I'm aware of that, but the benchmarks are really much better, and you have a noticeable speed difference. If you've never hosted a website before, you might not be able to tell, but if you've hosted a website with a regular web host that either uses nginx or Apache, you'll definitely be able to tell the difference. It's as cheap as $3.99 a month. They're shared hosting plans, so it's coming with 5 gigabytes. This is more than enough for what you need. If you're going to be just setting up a content management system such as WordPress, this is more than enough. WordPress just takes, what is it, like 100 megabytes less, and then as you add themes and plugins, it becomes a little bit bigger every time you add more things. But most of my websites don't actually exceed 1 gigabyte ever, pretty much. So you got 1 gigabyte of RAM. Don't worry too much about this. This is definitely enough. On average, WordPress, you know, that doesn't get a lot of traffic, won't consume so much of the RAM anyways. You'll be probably using, to start, maybe 1/10 of this, and then you can scale up to the second or third plans if you're really interested in that. But let's say you don't want to use Virotech. I'm just giving Virotech as an example here. I am very satisfied customer of Virotech myself, but let's say you want to use something else. What are your options? Well, SiteGround is certainly trusted. They have been doing this for many years, and they recently moved off cPanel. I personally don't recommend them because their service has been going down somewhat, which is red flags for me, but I did host a couple of my websites in the past and still host one of them today in SiteGrounds. I'm pretty satisfied with their service. It's a little bit more expensive, and actually you don't get LiteSpeed hosting, so you can always compare the exact hosting specifications of different companies. What I'm gonna say is never ever host anything I have to make a point here with EIG. Why is this? You see Review Hell's got them, full possible list of EIG companies. EIG, people have lists of these, yeah. You can simply Google if your domain registrar or your web host is owned by EIG. Don't. It's basically Endurance International Group. They're a hosting liquidation company. What they do is they look for quality hosts, they buy them, and then they make their service worse, and then they keep selling it for the same price. And people, only some of them move out, and some of them don't, because they have such they're a liquidation company. I don't know what to say, really, but as you see here, they have Bluehost, they have HostGator, they have iPage, they have domain.com, I think, is theirs, domain.com, EIG. I'm pretty sure. I think, yes, domain.com is part of EIG. I think name.com might even be part of EIG. Is it? Name.com was sold to EIG. There we go. So you'll be able to Google it, whatever it is, and you'll be able to get information on what it actually is. Moving swiftly on, once you've actually verified that your hosting is not EIG, go ahead and register it. Now, VeroTech actually allows you to register. So let's just, where is our amazing domain that we were supposed to register? Alright, so this is, let's say this is our domain. You would write right here that I already have a domain, and you would just enter your website's domain and then throw in the TLD. This is called TLD. And it can be .com, .ca, .co.uk, vice versa. So you go ahead and you hit use. If you were registering with SiteGround, another thing to actually, I'm gonna go over now what to look for in hosting, because I'm obviously saying, pick one, and I'm maybe perhaps not guiding as much. What you're really looking for is, firstly, the server type matters a lot. Like I said, Apache is the most common, LiteSpeed is the fastest perhaps, and nginx is somewhere in the middle of those. It's hosting server technologies. Does the hosting company provide SSL for free? This is what an SSL does. It puts the padlock right here. If you don't have an SSL, you go to a website that doesn't have an SSL. This one has an SSL redirection, so it doesn't let us access unless we're accessing it through the HTTPS. If it doesn't have this and it's HTTP, it's going to show in your browser. I'm sure you went to a website like this that says not secure here and no padlock. So that's something primary that you got to look for. Does it provide free SSL? Because if you're new to web hosting, it might be difficult to set up SSL if the hosting doesn't provide it natively. Secondly, does it have a 30-day money-back guarantee? This really should be a thing for pretty much any host. If it doesn't have it, I kind of consider that fishy. Does your hosting provide enough space for you? And in my opinion, anything above 2-3 gigabytes is fine, but ideally you want 5 gigabytes. Don't store any of your videos, obviously, on websites that you're planning to host. I'd recommend throwing them over to YouTube or considering a content delivery network such as Bunny CDN, Cloudflare, or Key CDN, or vice versa. Those are things you can look at later, really. What you're looking for mainly in a hosting is, let's say I wanted to go with this plan, and I said, okay, I already have a domain, and it's whatever.com, and I proceed. In the review and complete section where we're going to check out, it's not registered, you're seeing here 12 months. If you go with the 1 month option, what happened to that $6.99 that I was supposed to be paying, The $6.99 discounted from $14.99 a month. What's going on? Isn't that what we're getting? Let's see down here. Startup. It says startup. Oh, that's interesting. Well, really, this is what happens. Is essentially the more you're invested in the hosting company, if they have promotions, so they're going to charge you annually. Right now, they're going to charge you $83.88. Question is, what do they charge you afterwards? Well, calculate it, right? So this times 12, that's what they're going to be charging you once the year ends. This is why I recommend VeroTech. They don't have this type of scheme, at least at the moment. I hope they don't. And if you use the promotion code free trial, you get the first month for free. You can also choose, if you want, really, to make the pricing cycle not monthly. You can make it annually. You can make it whatever you want, really. Just do as you wish. Once you continue, you're basically going to be, you're gonna purchase the hosting. You already have the domain registrar. This is when you go and you find out where your name servers, what your name servers actually are. So, what are my name servers, and then followed by your hosting company would do. For instance, VeroTech. Don't fail me, VeroTech. Okay, so it already says here, our standard name servers can be found below: ns1.verotech.net, ns2.verotech.net, vice versa. So we copy this, and then we go over here and we paste it right here, ns1.nameserver, bureautech.net, for instance, ns2.bureautech.net. We add the name servers, and then we hit that checkbox right there. And once we're done that, we will be able to actually access. So you see here, bureautech has it. For instance, if you registered with SiteGround, they'll tell you where theirs are located. Can I check the DNS? Nope. Hold on. How to point my website to SiteGround. There we go. So, they show once you have a hosting with us, you go to Site Tools, you go to IP name and servers, and then it says name servers. This is what you're really looking for. It's a little bit more confusing looking for a SiteGround because I think they use different name servers per hosting account. Well, not per, but per a bunch of hosting accounts. So over here you see ns1.this.whatever.biz. That's what you copy for the first one. Paste it right here. Second one, paste it right there. How does other name server companies look like? If you have GoDaddy, for instance, it looks like this. So same thing again, you want to change them, you want to update them to whatever your name servers are. So if you're using, for instance, name.com, name.com's looks like this. And then if you're using, I think this is domain.com, it looks like this. All right. Now that that is over, I'm going to be showing you what you can do, how to make your website, how to build it basically. So if you got any hosting that supports cPanel, which is the most common type of hosting, you can easily use, a lot of times they come with Softaculous. There we go. So this thing lets you click install stuff. For security reasons, I don't use this for a lot of my big websites, but for small ones here and there, you can use it. It's really no biggie. You don't have to really worry about it if you're not making the next google.com and you actually succeed somehow. So this is what a cPanel looks like. Yeah, let's close out of these. So when you go to your cPanel, like for instance, how do I get to cPanel bureautech? All right. How to access cPanel for your domain. So you go home, you go blah blah blah, you go to your services, you go to view details, and then log into cPanel. However, your web hosting company, because I can't be going through each one of them. I don't want to limit to anything. I'm showing you practically how you're supposed to do it. I'm not even limiting you to anything, because if I was limiting you to something, red flags, really red flags. I'm telling you this genuinely. Why? Because people want to make money on the internet. They make money making affiliate videos where they earn. I'm gonna actually show you this as well. I know this doesn't necessarily relate so much, but I think this is their affiliate link. If you wanted to affiliates, maybe there we go. If you wanted to sign up with HostGator affiliates, they're paying you $65 for every person that signs up to HostGator. Obviously, you're gonna want to promote them. I mean, I'm not promoting them. Why? Because I know their service isn't good. I'm telling you this honestly. I'm not even necessarily promoting bureautech because of their affiliate service. I'm not affiliated with them in any way possible. I'm just really satisfied with their service. So at the moment, bureautech is great. Tomorrow, their service might go down too. If they're bought up by EIG, there's nothing you can do. Chances are bureautech won't be bought up by EIG. I mean, highly likely that it won't. But you got to always watch out for that type of stuff. This is what a cPanel looks like, yeah? So in the cPanel, you have something called Softaculous. So we were here, Softaculous cPanel. You go to cPanel, you find Softaculous, you get to it, this is what it looks like, yeah? This is what it looks like on the cPanel, you click it, and this is where it goes. Great to make a tutorial of Google Images, by the way. So let's see. So you press WordPress. Okay, what happens when you press WordPress? Let's see. Yeah, you press the install button here, and then it's going to show you, is this a full, there we go, this is it. So essentially, sorry for the quality here, but you're going to select the latest version of WordPress. You're going to make sure that it's HTTPS. If you're installing WordPress, as you see, there's a lot of other stuff you can install here depending on what you want. Your website is right now set up. If you go to your website.com, if your name servers are properly configured, it'll obviously, we haven't done any registration here, so it won't work for us, but this is your website right now. You go to your cPanel, the first thing you want to do is install SSL. If you're with Virotech, Virotech domain install SSL, I think it'll do it automatically, but if it does, in the case that it doesn't, you have Let's Encrypt SSL here. All you do is hit issue, and that's it. And you hit issue again. Make sure it's HTTP, not DNS, and that's it. That's literally all you have to do. cPanel is going to guide you through all of these things, really. All you have to do is, you know, search the right keywords, key phrases, as I've shown in the search, and yeah, you'll be good. So over here we have, you know, when we want to hit install on WordPress, you want to install the latest version. You want to make sure that it's HTTPS, and you want to choose your domain. Now, you can also add on domains to hosting packages. I'm not going to be covering that in this video, but for later videos I might be covering that. So you want to make sure that in directory is nothing. If you have an in directory called WordPress, you know, if you write WordPress right here, WordPress will only operate inside this. So for instance, like your website will be in here, Don't do this unless you want anything other than WordPress or what you're installing. So in most cases, if you don't know what I just said, just leave this in directory empty. Make sure it's got nothing in there. Your site name is going to be your site name. You can customize these later, really. Make sure enable multi-site is not checked. You don't want to name your name admin. Why? Because hackers often know that the most common username is user or admin or site admin. Don't name any of these. Make a unique username that, you know, hackers don't typically try to what's called brute force. Make your password strong. I cannot emphasize this. Make it as strong as possible, and give an admin email that's also protected by a strong password. This is not a security course, but sadly, so much WordPress sites out there have been infected because of simple things like this. You want to install Loganizer. You can install it through here or WordPress later on. Your site language, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can pick whatever you want there. Don't install any of these other stuff, by the way. Go ahead and click install. Once Softaculous is installed, we're gonna now head over. This is a new section. Softaculous WordPress installed. What it's going to say is, it's going to show you this. I don't know if there's any pictures that show successful WordPress installation here, but anyways, it'll be like WordPress is installed. There we go. Congratulations, WordPress has been installed. Okay, this is where you access your website's administrative tools and panel. This is where you manage your website. You're done with the hosting. You're done with the domain names. Make sure you renew them every year or every month or whatever. Make sure that you have, you know, auto renewal set up if you want to keep renewing it or manually check, whatever the case may be. Your this is a really weird domain name. I'm just going to point that out. Yeah, yours is going to be this/WP admin. This is where you go to your WordPress admin. So give a real example here. servergrounds.xyz/wp-admin. This is a website that I'm just using for testing purposes at the moment. So let me actually log on to this so you guys can see what it looks like. By the way, I know this is a really weird username, but I just like to keep it as random as possible. Alright, there we go, and I'm in. Okay, so now you have your plugins. This is where you can add a lot of plugins. As you see, this is hosted on LiteSpeed server of Virotech. You can see it's super fast. It's crazy fast. Servergrounds.xyz. I just put Elementor on here, and I just put something sample. If you really want, you can do other stuff, but I like to build websites with Elementor these days. It's much easier than the traditional way of doing things. You could just drag, drop, that's it. You just drag and drop, and there you go. That's how to do it with Elementor. If you want to do, actually, let me run you through WordPress really quickly, and in the next video, I'll be running you through detailed what the WordPress panel looks like. But over here, you have your posts. Now, if your WordPress is a blog, your latest posts will automatically be coming to the top of your blog. A lot of times blogs have their home pages as the blog page. For instance, I have a custom homepage here. How do you set a custom homepage? Simple. Go to appearance, go to customize. As you see, it's 2020 here. You can see and browse through many WordPress themes. My favorite is Neve. I use it for a lot of websites. Something more plain is Hello by Elementor. If you're gonna buy Elementor Pro and design your whole theme with Elementor, I recommend this. But right now 2020 is activated. That's the default theme. You go to homepage settings and you make sure that home is the primary page. You know, if this is how a post page would look, just to show you what it would look like. So this is how it looks like with 2020. If I look at WordPress themes and I go through installed themes, if I activated 2019 and I went to my blog page, there's no posts on this. I think it's not going to show any posts, but theoretically, let's just add a post. Yeah, just to prove a point here. This is how you add posts in WordPress. If you're designing the pages with Elementor, it's going to look very different. Yeah. Okay, so you go to read post. There we go. Now in the live preview, though, there we go. That's the post page. So it shows the latest post up top. You can customize this however you'd like. Long story short, customization is up to you. That's not on this video. This video has shown you how to make a website and install WordPress on it. You can install just about anything else on it. And as I said, once you're done, highly recommend Elementor. Highly recommend Pro. I didn't link it with this website, but if you don't have Elementor Pro, I do recommend it. What you do is you go to plugins and you just search Elementor. There we go. I would also recommend Updraft Plus. This is a backup plugin for free. You can back up your files, you can throw them over to Google Drive, you can restore them. I'll have different videos in the future perhaps explaining how to do this. If I don't, who cares about me? Just go on YouTube and find a new video. There's tons, really. So that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. In the next video, I'm going to be going through detailed what each of these mean and how to use WordPress essentially. But this video was simply just how to set up a website with WordPress, but you know, not going super in-depth into WordPress and allowing you the option of using something else. I hope you enjoyed that. I've been trying to stay as unbiased as possible throughout this whole video. That's it. I'm going to be leaving Virotech's non-affiliate link, so I don't earn any money from it, down below. I'm going to be leaving it alongside a bunch of other hosting services, also non-affiliate links. Thank you for watching, as I said, and peace out.